So we got some pretty interesting news for you guys, including a Twitch extension for Immortals Fenyx Rising, more news regarding Ashes of Creation's alpha testing, and information regarding Genshin Impact version 1.1. Hello everyone, my name is Solomon SK for Coffee and RPGs, where we cover the latest news, trends, and updates for the MMO and RPG gaming genre. We got a lot of news to cover, so if you guys got your cut ready with your beverage of choice, I'm obviously drinking coffee. Let's go over these news articles together. Cheers to you guys.
Consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification right next to it. Thank you!
So let's go ahead and kick things off with a few articles from MassivelyOP.com, and you know, we're finally about a week away from the release of Cyberpunk 2077, and I can't wait. I think the hype is super real, but this doesn't really pertain to that exactly. And as it says here in this article, CD Projekt Red frames Cyberpunk 2077's multiplayer as a standalone product, and they did say that it's about 2 years away, so we still got plenty of time before that happens. And as for what that could possibly look like, well, based upon their sort of financial report that they did not too long ago, they do speculate that it's probably more going to be like Red Dead Redemption Online, more so than anything else. But honestly, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. We all know the huge role-playing potential, especially with GTA Online, excuse me. And yeah, I'm definitely seeing this going that direction when it finally releases from 2 years from now. You guys already know I love covering articles like this, and in their next article here it says Soul's Remnant is a 2D platforming MMORPG passion project that has entered a limited time open beta. So obviously I have the trailer playing right now, and the first thing that came to my mind was MapleStory, the original one. But as far as I'm concerned, that game is still hugely popular right now, and it doesn't get talked about nearly as much as it should. But anyways, this game is actually being developed by a single person, and he's been developing it since April of 2016, so definitely a passion project. But it does go on to say that it bills itself as a social and player-driven platforming MMORPG with features such as an ever-changing and moving world, a classless system with the ability to unlock and train any skill, new skills, a dungeon, a new world that has been custom built instead of randomly generated, and the addition of a housing system, among other things. So again, checks all the boxes of an MMORPG in my opinion. This game is running an alpha test right now, up until December 5th, so if you guys want to get your hands on something that's very similar to MapleStory in my opinion, here's a chance to do so. And speaking about another MMO that pretty much no one's really ever heard of, but definitely goes against the grain and does something a little different from the traditional MMORPGs that we have right now, such as World of Warcraft. In their next article, it says Tiny MMO Book of Travels releases a 30-minute gameplay video. And as always, I have the trailer playing right now, and I have to admit, this is a beautiful looking game. It's very stylistic, and from what I can remember, all the scenes here are actually hand-drawn or hand-painted. So if you're looking for a more serene MMORPG, this game definitely fits that bill. And the creative director, Jacob Touchton, I'm butchering his name, so I do apologize, did go on to say that the team hasn't quite figured out the right balance of players per world, but we'll be fine-tuning it up to and through release. So if you are interested, just know that the Book of Travels is scheduled to go into early access in 2021. And in their next article, and this is definitely for all the World of Warcraft players out there that are frustrated with the queue times, World of Warcraft offers up free character transfers in order to alleviate bludgeoning populations. But just do know that you cannot transfer your character from one high-end realm to another. And in the unfortunate news, the actor that played Darth Vader unfortunately passed away, and the communities for the Star Wars games out there did something special for him. And as it says here in the next article, Star Wars: The Old Republic and Star Wars Galaxies players memorialize the life of Darth Vader actor David Prowse. So in the Star Wars Galaxy Legends, they actually did put up a memorial for him, and there's also memorials for Carrie Fisher as well as Peter Mayhew and Kenny Baker. And in Star Wars: The Old Republic, players held a silent vigil turned life celebration on German Koss on the Darth Malgus server yesterday. So I think those are pretty cool that people are able to come together as a community to just really recognize people that really impacted their lives. And in their next article, it says that Ashes of Creation talks about a new island new lighting, and testing for December and February. Now, there was a lot of information, so I'm just going to cover the important ones, or at least the ones that I feel that are most important. And it goes on to say here that the devs showed off a new island that's being created for Alpha 1. This new island is approximately 10 square kilometers and reportedly will take 30 minutes to travel from one end to the other. I'm not gonna lie, the first thing that came to mind was Black Desert Online, because for all intents and purposes there actually isn't any fast travel or teleportation in the game, with a rare few exceptions if you get the compass pieces, but that's besides the point. From traveling one end of the map in Black Desert Online from Granada all the way over to Valencia and beyond, there's like a little town that's more east of Valencia. It just takes forever. Like, I don't know if it actually takes 30 minutes, but since this is just an island, who knows how big the world of Ashes of Creation really is going to be. That's just mind-blowing to me right now. But during this test, there will be teleport NPCs to help testers quickly get from one place to another. But once sea travel is possible, teleportation is going away. I am very excited about that. That to me is just bringing out more of the sandbox-ness of the game, if that's a word. Furthermore, the devs started work on a stat revamp that will be closer to the game's final form of stats, which should be available during the February tests. Alright, and let's go ahead and move on to GameRant.com, and the first article here says that Immortals Fenyx Rising Twitch extension lets viewers hunt monsters. And if you guys don't remember anything about this game, this is supposed to be an open world RPG set with sort of the Greek mythos going on, with that Breath of the Wild sort of fantasy aesthetic, very similar to Genshin Impact actually. And if you're curious, throughout the streamer's broadcast, a beast from Immortals Fenyx Rising will pop up on the screen every 2 minutes, with viewers tasked with clicking on the monster as quickly as possible to add them to their collection. Ubisoft allegedly is offering a free resource pack, a cold spell bow skin, a shiver sword skin, as well as an avalanche axe skin. And in their next article, it says that Gotham Knights confirms highly requested single player feature, and I'm really glad that we have an article, because ever since they released or had their announcement of the release for this game, they kind of fell a little silent. And it goes on to read here that Marty confirmed that solo players can experience the full game not only by themselves but offline as well, and that to me kind of seems like they're taking some cues from CD Projekt Red, which again is pretty awesome in my opinion. When playing offline, players won't miss out on any content by not being connected to the online servers. So again, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like a lot of these companies are doing things that players want them to, but who really knows? Yeah, I don't know. Next, let's go ahead and cover some of the articles from Gematsu.com. The first one here says that Outward sales tops 1 million. DLC called The Three Brothers launches December 15th for the PC, but in 2021 for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now, admittedly, this RPG kind of fell under my radar. I don't know too much about this game, but if you are also on a similar situation as I am, it is being labeled as an open world survival RPG with co-op elements, and so yeah, this definitely seems like a pretty interesting game that I'll have to check out soon enough. And next we have here Granblue Fantasy Fes 2020 online event set for December 12th and the 13th. The Granblue Fantasy franchise is something that I kind of grew up with a little more or less, not as much as Final Fantasy, but it's definitely a game that I'm very familiar with. So I'm definitely excited about any potential new action RPG that they're making instead of some sort of mobile spin-off or fighting game. I didn't really get into those. So yeah, according to this article, their next RPG game will be called Granblue Fantasy Relink, and so I'll definitely keep you guys posted as we get more information. And for all you Square Enix fans out there, especially those who grew up during the 90s, in their next article it says that SaGa Frontier Remastered announced for the PlayStation 4, Switch, PC, iOS, and Android. SaGa Frontier was first launched for the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, in July of 1997 in Japan, followed by March 1998 in North America. So for those of you who are looking for sort of a bit of a nostalgia or just anything from the 90s, this is definitely something that you might be interested in. Next, let's go ahead and cover some articles from MMORPG.com. The first one here says that Guild Wars 2 Europe and North America world linking delayed until Friday. Now, this is something that I didn't know what was going on, but I think it's really cool. So if you didn't know, they are actually linking the two continents together server-wise for the world versus world aspect of the game. Definitely should help with the population, considering that it takes a lot of teamwork to defend or even conquer the castles, right? So, and in their next article, it says that TERA console crossplay is finally live. So yes, if you have friends that play TERA on a different console, well, that's no longer be a problem now that PlayStation and Xbox players of the game can meet up together and play together as well. Just wish that PC players were part of that, but maybe in the future, perhaps, who knows? And next, moving on, we got one article from GamesRadar.com, and it says here that Genshin Impact version 1.1 introduces Zhongli and new events to celebrate. And it goes on to say that Zhongli is the latest character to be added to the game's roster, and he has a rarity of 5 stars. You'll also be able to take part in a new gliding challenge. The event will begin on December 4th and will run up until December 14th, and will give you a chance to win a range of unique rewards for a limited time. Also, really quick, during the event, 4-star weapons and event-exclusive 5-star weapons will receive a massive drop rate boost in what is called the Epitome Invocation, a new type of wish. And moving on to Destructoid.com, we do have one article here, and I do apologize it's cut off on the right, but it does say here that we could get a new Final Fantasy XIV expansion announcement as soon as February of 2021. And this goes without saying, but obviously all these conventions have been canceled due to the pandemic, but because FanFest has been canceled, they're doing a digital one, and if you want to know more, definitely tune in on February 5th of 2021 at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, according to a new tweet from Square Enix. And next we move on over to MMOculture.com, and this is an MMO that I've actually never heard of, so I'm really glad to be able to cover it just so that I'm aware of it. Maybe I'll play it someday, but it does go on to say here that Granado Espada, 11th new character for the year, added into the Korean server. Now, if you are interested in the game, they do have their own Steam page here if you wish to play it on the PC, but the article also noted that there is a mobile port version as well, but why would you play it on an inferior? Anyways, it is sitting at a mostly positive recent review, so that to me sounds like they've improved a lot over the times, but yeah, it was sitting at a mixed, so take that for what you will. And in their next article, it says that Project Eve first look into a new action game led by former Blade and Soul art director. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure if this is an RPG, definitely not an MMO, but the reason why I wanted to cover it is because, again, former Blade and Soul art director by the name of Tae Hyung, he's probably one of my most favorite character illustrators of all time. He's up there with Joe Benitez, Akira Toriyama, Jim Lee, and so, yeah, I'm definitely interested in this game because of that fact, but I got the trailer playing right now, and obviously it's very flashy. Matter of fact, I mean, there's a lot of Blade and Soul elements to what's going on, so that may not necessarily be a bad thing, but definitely I will keep an eye out for this one and keep you guys posted as we get more information. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to PCGamer.com, and the first article that I wanted to cover here says Political Management RPG Suzerain gets a December 4th release date, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, but with everything that's going on, especially here in the United States, I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, it might be something you might be interested in playing. Definitely not going to be talking politics here, but the article does continue on to say that you take the role of President Ryan, a newly elected leader of a nation that's been through a civil war under a dictator. Actually, I think I might have mispronounced that name too, so I do apologize. But basically, the economy is in recession, the welfare systems aren't adequately helping your people, and both the military and the law are in dire need of reform. And to make matters worse, it's not just you just trying to help build the country. Despite everything that's going on, you also have to avoid neglecting your family as well. And just know that this game is completely a text-based RPG, and I know that might turn off a few people out there, but for all you perhaps old school gamers, maybe that's not such a bad thing. But yeah, this game also has multiple endings as well, so definitely choose wisely in your decisions. And that concludes today's episode of MMO and RPG news, updates, and commentary. I really do appreciate it if you made it with me so far, and if you feel as though I have earned your subscription, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification icon right next to it. That would tremendously help out the channel a lot. I know that was a lot of news to go over, so I will finally let you guys go. Hope you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers again, everyone.